then that's perfect for the seed to grow in.
All right, you're probably right. Now we're detectives, trying to find out what's going on.
It is. It's a detective story.
Yeah.
The tree, as was mentioned before, is a living thing, and it has its own objective, right? The objective of this banyan tree is global domination. Okay, it wants to take over the world. It won't, because we will stop it. But it's important to understand what's going on here. The house, as you can see, right, is just built of rock and rammed earth, right? And as long as that has got either some decent brick or some kind of plaster finish on it, it's okay. Right? But once water gets in, as soon as water gets in, the whole thing is falling down. You see all of those houses down there are falling to pieces because water has got into the earth walls, right? And they just disintegrate. Also, of course, as you can see, the roof is missing. Right? The roof is gone, which originally had timbers going across and tiles. Again, as long as the roof was functional and watertight, the house would be okay. Right? But the minute that water gets in, then there's a huge problem. And the banyan is producing hundreds and hundreds of little figs all the time. It's producing little figs. The birds eat the figs. They digest the juice, and the seeds go through the back end of the bird, right? And they poop banyan seeds everywhere, all right, all over everything. If that seed, one of those seeds gets lucky and it gets into a crack, it can germinate and start to grow, right? And that's what's happened at the top. So it's important to understand that the tree is not growing up from the ground. The tree seed germinated on the roof, right? Where there was some opening or crack in the roof. The seed germinated there. And this is Yongshu, right? This is Ficus microcarpa. Yongshu. It's a Chinese banyan tree, which naturally makes these amazing aerial roots, right? So the seed germinated at the top of the wall, and then the branches started growing up, and at the same time, the aerial roots start growing down. Right? So it's just important, because some people may look at it and think, oh yeah, this is the root, the tree grew up like that, but that's not true. The tree germinated on the roof and the roots grew down, right? They in nature, this species of tree will strangle other trees, right? The roots will strangle around the trunk of another tree and strangle it to death, right? So but it can grow over anything, including buildings. So, in fact, what you see here is, I'm guessing, maybe 30, 40 years old, maybe something like that.
Yes,
yeah.
correct.
The
last person who lived here is when the school was still the day. Right. So 1990.
So 1990, the last person left, and then a little crack appeared on the roof. Nobody was there to fix it, right? Because of course, if people are living in the house, they will be constantly watching and fixing any tiny blemish, right? You have to do that. If you don't fix those blemishes, the trees will get in, and that's what happened here. The wooden, then of course the wooden beams that were holding the tiled roof up, of course they rotted very quickly, right? Just fell down. The tiles, of course, will all come down as well, and the tree grows along the structure, right? But the tree is actually, once these aerial roots get strong enough, the tree could stand all by itself without the building at all, right? So the building may fall apart completely eventually, and you end up with a root, kind of a copy of the building. Right? The tree copies the form of the building, but it's not reliant on the building. Once it gets to a certain stage, it doesn't rely on the wall structure. So the walls could fall away, which is what's happening, right? And the tree would be left there with these funny legs, right? It's a house-shaped tree, But so the tree is in the process it's not destroying the house, but it's helping to destroy the house. The house is falling apart by itself because, as I said, as soon as water gets into this kind of structure, you can kiss it goodbye. Right, it's going to go. So the tree is just taking advantage of that lack of maintenance. That's what the tree is doing. Right. If you left the whole of Hong Kong Island, the whole city, if you left the whole city all by itself, and you did not maintain it, or Knowles Building, if we did not maintain it and never cleaned it, it would be covered in these trees in 30 years. Right. It'd be fantastic. I really want to do that.
I assume originally the roof crack and the seeds falling into that,
Right.
and then one of them falling into the corner. But Gavin was probably right. When the tiles start to crack, the birds bring the seeds, put on the roof, pull on the roof, and then the seeds
And
got a space.
especially the roof would have come down that way, and there would have probably, I guess, have been a gutter along here. Maybe a gutter. Now the gutter needs to be cleaned out regularly if you live here.
Yes.
Right? But after a couple of years, nobody's cleaning the gutters out. The drain may block up.
Okay.
Of course, the leaves will blow in from around the place.
All right.
The whole thing blocks up, and then that's perfect for the seed to grow in.
All right. You're probably right. Now we're detectives, try to find out what's going on.
It is. It's a detective story.
Yeah. The roof going this way, right? And did you see this part is taller? Because once population grow, they build loft. So this is the window for the upper floor, for the loft, where kids sleep there. And then outside of that used to be a courtyard. But after demand for space, they covered the courtyard with tile, and that corner became the tilted tile going this way. And so they must have some kind of gutter, which I find no evidence.
Roof coming down, this is
Yes.
a roof
So this is the junction, the meeting point for the roof, and that's why the root find the freeway along along the water.
Yeah, the gutter, if it's not maintained, will fill up with leaves.
Yeah.
Leaves rot. You have a little bit of soil.
You provide the
seed-
nutrition for the
It's
seed.
perfect
Yeah.
for the tree, for the banyan seed. It's absolutely wonderful, right? And then it will grow branches up, and then the aerial roots will go along the gutter, down the walls, right?
Yeah.
And then the whole roof falls in, and then we're left with what we see. But it hasn't stopped just because you've done this, right? I mean, the process is still in process. This tree is still,
Right.
this is still a baby. It's only 30. Right? This is a baby, when they're 100 and, the ones, if you go to Choi Hong Estate, it was built in 1964, there are banyan trees this thick, right? They're 7 years younger than me, okay? I mean, so when this is 70, 80, 100 years old, it will the house will have disappeared altogether unless there's human intervention.
Actually, my theory was wrong. The tree will stay. Yeah, even the house is gone. So you will have a true tree house. And the tree took the shape of the house.
Yeah. But the house actually becomes just a template for the tree house.
Right.
That's one of the roof timbers that's rotting and fell off, and the tree root has followed that timber down here. That's why it's at a funny angle. You see? So it's really interesting. This here is one of the original roof timbers that fell down, right?
Yeah.
Then the roots later, then of course once this fell down, all the tiles came down with it, obviously. Then the root has come along down, followed the timber, right? So this has actually grown around this timber. The timber will rot away.
Yes.
Yet the root will still, the root is still have an echo of the timber, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost, it's extraordinary really how they do this. So the original thing can disappear, and you're left with it's a template for the tree.
Yes.
Right?
I think that root also.
Yes, look at this. How did it do that? Like this
It
one.
must follow the wall.
Yeah.
This one. Yeah.
It follow
So it followed the structure.
The
The
structure.
structure's all gone. The
Because-
walls fallen. Everything's
because
fallen
the
down.
structure had
Yeah.
moisture,
Yeah,
nutrition.
exactly. Yeah. I'm not quite strong enough to. And I'm not strong. I'm not strong enough.
Don't
either.
destroy my house.